All right, we're looking at section 9.5 of unit 20. This is the very end. This is how you made it. Last section. And what we're going to do really quick is go flying through this because this stuff is actually very, very simple. Here's all we're going to do. Starting on page 20, actually it's page 21 of unit 20. You're looking at this formula up here that says x plus 2 equals f parentheses x parentheses. That's read f of x equals x plus 2. So here's all you're going to do. It's very simple. They give you a bunch of x's, a bunch of values. All you're doing is you're plugging in these values in for x right here. Then you're working it out. So like 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 4 plus 2 is 6. F of x, as you can see up here, f of x is equal to x plus 2, so they're going to be the same number. So these two columns are exactly the same. Think of the f of x as the y. Because in the next column, now we have to write these as points. And you're going to take the very first number that you have over here on the far left, the number that you have here on the far right, and make that a point. The point is 1, 3. The next one is 2, 4. The next one is 3, 5. The last one is 4, 6. All right. From there, I want you to describe this graph. If you were to plot all these points, if you were to go ahead and plot all these on a grid, what you would get is a bunch of dots in a straight line. Alright, so dots in a straight line is what you would get. Now, number 6 here says describe the graph of function f in problems 1 to 4 if the domain is a set of all real numbers. So they're saying if you don't limit this just to those dots, but you also dot in every dot in between those dots, what would you get? You would get a straight line. Let's move right on to the next page. For this page, for page 22, what they would like us to do is to figure out, determine, write out what is the domain and what is the range. This is actually very simple. The domain, which I'm going to call D, is all the x values. This. So you would write -4, 2, and 0. You don't have to write the -2 twice because it repeats. You don't have to write it. The range is all the y values. So it's going to be 3 right here, 1, 5, and -2. The last question is this a function? Determine whether this is a function. And the way you can figure out if it's a function is fairly simple. All you have to look for is whether or not the x values repeat. Are there any x values that repeat? And yes, there are, right here. Okay, so what does that mean? If the x values repeat, it's not a function. Not a function. Not a function. You don't want them to repeat. You want them all to be different. Looking at number 8 here. Sorry, it's all that. Number 8. Domain 3, 1, 0, -1, -2, again. These are your domain, all your x values. The range is all the y values. 7, 4, -2, -1, 5. Is this a function? Well, did any of the domain values, did any of the x's repeat? No, they didn't, so that's good. We want that, because then it is a function. Yes, a function. If you move on to the next set of problems, the domain are all the letters on the left. A, B, C, D, E. The range are all the numbers inside the bubble. It says range 2, 3, 6, I put those in order. And then they also want to know, is this a function? Yes or no? And yes, because if you notice, every one of these only has one arrow coming out of it. So that's yes. Number 10. Domain 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. The range 1, 2, negative 3, 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 6, negative 8. I can barely read that, but I think that's right. And then, is this a function? No, because if you look at the 4, there are 2 arrows coming out of it. The 10 also has 2 arrows coming out of it. This is not a function.